First off, rest in peace, neighborhood Nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building business, it's that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Stick and move, Javante Davis.
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, based over here.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
What up, what up, what up? We back. It's your favorite guys. You know, the host with the most. And we back with a brand new episode 158, your favorite pod's favorite pod. I'm 1/3 of the crew. Your boy Buchanan, the Man the Fan official, and who I got with me.
A what fan?
You heard it.
I just want. I just wanted to make sure.
Man the Fan official, man. It is what it is.
Okay, there we go.
You can hear us here. You pointing at your headphones. You good?
I don't think Donald can hear us.
All right. Well.
All right. Well, you have your favorite guy AJ. Well, we ain't got no technical difficulties around this way. I don't know. We could just hear it. We could just hear this man just perfectly fine, just having a great old conversation. And now look at him, just fucking up everything. And you know, because guess what? He'll go heal regardless.
Fact.
So that's exactly what he's doing. So you know where you can find us. You can catch us on all major podcast platforms. You can catch us on Instagram and Twitter at 3ManWeave_.
Mm-hmm.
You can catch us live on YouTube and Twitch. Just search 3Man Weave Podcast. For all the crew that's in here right now, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Press that. Go ahead and do that. And make sure you tell anybody you know, go ahead and subscribe. They can come in, catch us on the live shows, because you know we like to have fun on the live shows. And we start with sports, but we always go left somehow. So, you know, everything is on the table. And get us more, get more people in here, get your friends in here, because today it was highly and hotly contested about some things that we posted in the group, but we will get to that in just a few. Hopefully we can get Hill in here very soon, because there were some things that, you know, we wanted to talk to him about, but I guess, you know, while we waiting on him, we'll just kind of. Have you heard the Drake album?
Just a few songs off of it. I ain't really heard a lot about it.
Why'd you only hear just a few?
I just honestly been real busy. So
okay, understandable. Because I've only really heard just a few. I listened to the whole thing, but I've only heard just a few.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I bought the hard copy, like an actual disc, so I could throw that shit out the window. I think it would have, like, you know, just like deleting it. It didn't make me feel good. Like I wanted to be able to like eject it and just turn it into a frisbee and throw it out the window. It's like back when you had the flip phone. You know what I mean? Where like when like hanging up was at an all-time high, where you can just get off my phone. You know what I mean? Like it had some meaning to it. It added a little bit of spice to it. It lets you know that you really meant that shit. And I mean, this project would have been like good if it like, cause I actually listen to like house music, electronic music and stuff like that. This would have just been so much better, like had he just not been on it. To me, the voice that he puts on it throws off the vibe, because Drake ain't the best singer, and it's just like it's just like the super airy and just he's just it just doesn't add to the vibe. Well, so nice of you to join us, sir. Can you hear us?
I can hear y'all now, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Hill. He'll go here regardless. As you can see,
You goddamn right.
it wouldn't be right if I wouldn't have technical difficulties. But your boy is here. Hopefully, they introduce the pod. Catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _ Email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Let's keep it going. I'm sorry.
Oh no, no problem. And just for everybody who else has joined, make sure you hit that thumbs up button right there. It's like right underneath Cannon. Go ahead, hit that thumbs up button.
Definitely need to help out help out the algorithms and all that. So if you're in the building, shouts out to the fours, hit the like button. Let's get it.
Yeah. So while we were waiting on you, I pretty much was just, yeah, there you go. I was just giving my take on, what I personally would have done had I bought a hard copy of the Drake. But that's not really on the docket. We don't really got to get into that because, that's not wasting.
And I think I did myself satisfaction by waiting, because most of the time I wait. Most artists I do, I rush to them, but I'm not the midnight artist. Listen to somebody. I don't give a damn who you are. I'll get up in the morning and listen to you. But when I got up and I just heard what it was and how everybody was receiving it, I'm like, okay, you know what? It's no need for me to even give it a chance. I hear what it is, and I hear how people trying to cape for it. You got to be this type of mood to like it, and this type you got to be over here to like it. I'm not there, so I'm like, you know what? There's no need for me to even listen to it. So shouts out to him, whatever he did. But I like rapping Drake. I always gonna prefer rapping Drake.
I do like rapping Drake, and I get to it. You feel me? I ain't been in no rush. I ain't been in no rush myself.
I was like, Cannon, you won't. I
will, man. Listen, man. The way that the music works for me, I try to give everything a real good listen, because you just can. Because I just remember the era when you had to pay for every single thing, and then I also remember the LimeWire era where we downloaded and just ruined every device we ever had. So it's like I remember the struggles of trying to get music. I always had to have a music guy. Like when first
every Tuesday.
Hill was my music man, and before I got to state, Juan was actually my music person. So but it used to be a struggle to get music. You either had to pay for it or had to have a plug for it or something like that. So when it's just at my fingertips, when it's on my list. You feel me? And I'm gonna give it a try. But I have heard what you heard, Hill, that it's a different type of vibe. So you got to be in a certain vibe. But I agree with you 100%. I do just like a rapping Drake, man. So
this is a dangerous place to be. Being drunk after brunch before the day party, because you drunk like that, you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna end up like Clay at that goddamn Warriors parade. My man Clay been drunk since Thursday. He about to go on a week straight.
Can you blame him?
Look, I'm telling you. Hey, look, Clay been waiting for 3 years for this moment.
Yes, bro, and I'm happy. I'm happy for Clay, man.
Hell yeah.
Even though Clay didn't have the greatest of series, it don't even matter. He still contributed. He still was solid, and you know what? He been through a lot, man. And I think that's a monkey off his shoulder. And my prediction when we talked about Clay earlier, in the playoffs, is that he's going to be much better next year anyway. So I feel like once now mentally you done already came back and won a chip. Next year, I feel like he could just let it all hang out and just be the old Clay, even though a lot of people think the old Clay is gone. I don't necessarily see that, man. We in the era of modern medicine, like he'll always say. So it's like I didn't see him the explosion a little bit, but that takes time when you're coming back from these type of injuries. So he was lit though at the parade, man. He stumbled into the lady. I'm like, look, boy, he
took her out, boy.
but of the craziest thing to me, y'all peeped, he dropped his championship ring in the crowd.
Yeah, I seen that.
I'm like,
oh, and my boy back though. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah,
because you're just doing too much. You dropping your championship ring. You stumbling.
He lost his hat. He lost his hat in the ocean.
You feel me?
I mean, but why not? I'm letting you know right now. If I won a
There's
championship,
gonna be some bloopers, huh?
I'm definitely worse than Clay. You know what I'm saying? Worse than Clay. I'd have been Clay and Draymond put together. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me the mic. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me the mic.
You know, an underrated drunk person at this parade that we ain't. Steph was out there. Steph been drunk too. Steph faced Steph faced a bottle of Class A Azul.
Yeah, might as well. Hey, look, and he got that monkey off his back too, man. So,
man, listen, we'll get into it, but I don't think he had I don't consider the monkey on his back.
Me neither. But I think it was a personal thing for him, though.
I think when we'll go in depth about that. But did you see your man's Wiggins though?
Oh, Wiggins was on the Zooties, boy. That boy Wiggins was looking like the dude outside the corner store.
Back in the dead, man. He said AJ and other people tried to call him a bust, man. So it's like, man, he playing with house money at this point.
But
that man needs some sleep, bro. You know, get you some rest, dog. He was part of your heart before the parade. He couldn't even handle the parade. At the parade, he was too done. Like he was like, bro, I got to go, bro.
So outside of from the main players at the parade, so Clay, Steph, Wiggins, Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole had a couple moments.
Mm-hmm.
When you was in your drunk prime for Cannon, 50 a day prime. Who
I had a drunk prime too.
Who were you most like during this stretch?
I was like Steph, man. I won't play.
I look. I'm ashamed. No, I ain't ashamed to say it. I'm proud to say it. I've been all of them. I've had some time. Boy, we had a time last night. Because I've had some times, boy. Like, I am ashamed to say some of them. I am proud to say some of them. But boy, man, listen.
But if you had to pick, though, just one.
In my prime, I'm definitely probably Clay. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be wild.
Who are you, Hill?
Draymond. Don't give me the mic. I'm cussing everybody out.
Hill is going on a drunk rant.
Yeah.
Listen here, Instagram.
Yeah, that's the famous clip, bro.
You know, I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Y'all say we won't go with it. Y'all say we won't go with it. You know?
Hey, I gotta find that. So we
gotta have that clip for the promo. We gotta have it, bro.
It's pretty sure it's still on my page. I don't delete nothing. So.
Yeah, we gonna get that because that was classic.
Tell you like this, Instagram.
That was a wild night, bro. Oh, we got a question.
Poor Q.
Yeah, it's still 4Q for that one. What big three do y'all compare yourselves to any sport?
Big
Dang,
three.
that's crazy. That's a crazy question.
So I would say I'm David Ruffin and these are the Temptations. Kenny mad as hell.
I ain't mad.
I ain't letting that slide.
Say, man.
I ain't letting that slide. You letting them do his thing. I'm snapping on at the press cup. I'll be damn. I'll be JT in the 5 heartbeats. I'm singing the next solo. The next solo is me. You know what I'm saying? But any sport. I'm sorry, it's not a sport. We the locks, yo. We the locks.
Absolutely.
And any given
moment,
they
ain't that many great big threes, man. When he's talking about any sport, are they that many great big threes?
I mean, you know, my team got the famous triplets. You know, they famous. You know, Troy, Mike.
Yeah, no, that is, but that
you know what I'm saying?
That's super elite level too, though. That's
we elite.
They legendary.
All right, well, I'm Jamar Chase, Cannon T. Higgins, Hill, Tyler Boyd in the slot.
Well, I got
you do the dirty work.
I'm Joe Mixon. If I'm gonna be anybody, I'm Joe Mixon, damn it.
We need more screen past the hill this year, then, man.
I'm taking it to the house.
Yeah, we doing that. We got him a line. We got somebody in front of him now.
Yeah, that's definitely. But let's get into the finals recap. Kudos to you, AJ. That was your prediction.
Yeah.
To the T.
Mhm.
Everything that you broke down about the finals came to fruition. Most of the logic that me and Kevin had, it showed up at times. But then, when it came money time, they dropped the ball on us. I mean,
They dropped the ball.
it is what it is. But let's go. Let's get into it. Let's get into the finals recap right quick.
Man.
So, I'll start. The reason why I went with the Warriors is, as you all know, is like I said, I think that championship pedigree is going to show when it gets crunch time. They've been there and they won't panic. And you saw that, like I said, the Celtics, they never really went against a team that was at full force, except that round one series, and they swept the Nets. But even then, I said that was a team that, like, they ain't even been together enough for them to even feel like they're full 100% team. So I even had an asterisk next to that. So I think that level, and then having the full complement of players, like I said, the Celtics were the more talented team, but I think that the talent that the Warriors possess, along with the knowledge, was going to serve, was going to pay dividends. And that's what it showed to me as, things progressed throughout the series. Because I believe game one, we all I think Ken, you were gone, but me and Hill was like, oh, game one is going to be a blowout. Celtics, they ready.
Yeah, I think we did say that because they was because Warriors was rested. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and so we just felt like, with this being a series of blowouts, it was going to be kind of the thing that you expected. And shockingly, some of the Warriors lost game one at home, but then Boston ended up losing the game at home. So it was just like, it almost like even the series back out right away, right off the bat. So it was just like, it was one of those things where it's just like, okay, it's really going to be just who plays the cleanest. And to see Steph, this was like, we have to actually, start thinking about where this falls in, finals performances. Because
okay, that's what you're gonna say. Okay,
yeah, like we have to think about where this finals performance for Steph lies, with the other all-time greats. And that's why I think people are starting to, put him in that discussion of being top 10 all time, because this team that he has, it's literally been the same core that they've had for almost like 10 plus years almost, but also they've had additions, but it's never like when you look at like the Spurs, when they won theirs, but they still had their same core that they originally won with, they added a Kawhi. And even though Kawhi wasn't the Kawhi that we know, when it came to the finals, that's when it elevated him to be the Kawhi that we knew. Because even during that season, he was still arguably top 5 defensive players in the entire league. Great rebounder. And also, would give you some things, as far like, I think he was averaging 19 points around that time. But when you have a Duncan, Ginobili, and a Parker, and you got a fourth person that can give you buckets like that, that makes it you really dangerous. They didn't add anyone of that caliber. Yes, everyone was, hype about Jordan Poole, saying he's, the new Splash Brother. No, he's not a new Splash Brother. He's a great he's a great role player, and he can grow into something, but he wasn't that this year. And I think especially seeing Steph being, for the NBA standards, a small guard, put them on his back and say, this is what I'm doing, especially not shooting threes like he once did. Yes, he still makes them, but he's not shooting them at that clip that he used to. He's in the basket. He's doing the mid-range. And another thing that people forget about, he had some defensive moments in this finals where it's like, at this high age for someone his size, you would expect him to diminish even more from what they said defensively. But he had the want to and that drive, which really defense is, and he showed up and showed out.
The thing about it, I think it was his best season of his career.
Yeah.
All together. And I'm not even trying to be the prisoner of the moment. It's just that the finals was the icing on the cake for me. It was the more so. I understand that he has MVPs. I understand he was a unanimous MVP. But if you look at those years when they got to the playoffs, one of those years he ended up getting hurt. One of those years he actually struggled with Matthew Dellavedova checking him. Another year he lost. In the finals, his finals really wasn't up to par at that time. It's like, okay, now we getting all the way to the finish line, and then okay, you veer off. Cool, great seasons though. Still not trying to diminish what his season was, but the way they started off this year. Number 1 seed, real hot. He was in MVP contention then most of the year. I mean, he ended up getting hurt, to finish the year. You end up starting off the first series, you're really not yourself, and they still can't check. They still can't check you at all. Like nobody on that court could handle you, and you still wasn't even yourself. You wasn't fully healthy. You get to the next series, nobody could check you at all.
Unstoppable.
Again, then you get to the conference final. Again, you dominate the conference final. Then you go against the number 1 defensive team in the league. I don't give a damn what era it is. This is a soft era, blah, 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 whatever. They still were the number 1 defensive team, and they was giving everybody hell on the way to the final. And he destroyed them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he made them look like little boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's why I agree with AJ 100% when he says we got to actually look at where this ranks amongst those final appearances and outcomes. Because when you think about him having a season that they had, everything that you said, Hill, starting off the way they started, leading the pack most of the way, being in MVP contention. And then I think back to when Al Horford fell on his ankle. And it's like,
and we know those
the stuff in the past that would have folded him. But I think all of the physical preparation, the pregame workouts, the after game workout, all of that, it came to fruition this year for him, man, and literally paid off. And that very next game, everybody was looking like that was a game changer game right there. And it was like they were down big in Boston, and he just said, you know what? He wasn't getting no calls or anything. He came down and he made a crazy layup, and he got up and he said, you know what? It's over from here on out, man. And it really was. He really went to that level where only the greats can go, to where I am going to change the game now, and there's nothing that y'all could do about it. I don't care who you put on me. They threw everything they had in the sink at this man. They threw Horford on him. They threw the defensive player of the year on him. They threw traps at halftime. There was nothing. You go over the screen, I'll shoot it in your grill. You go under, I shoot it from deep. I blow past if you put a big on me. Like it, what do you want to do? I finish, I still get the N1, still 3 points. I am a true 3-point threat no matter where I'm at on the floor, man. And it was amazing. And then, just not to stop at Steph, when you look about his supporting cast, man, and Steve Kerr, man, a lot of credit got to go to Steve Kerr, because their defense was ridiculous too. Yeah, so it's like what they did to Jason Tatum has to be single-handedly one of the best defensive jobs. And because they not only neutralized him from being a scorer, they neutralized him eventually from being a playmaker. Yep. Because the amount of turnovers, the one game they had 17 turnovers, and 6 or 7 was from JT. So it's like, hey man, kudos all the way around. It was a true team performance, and they did it with Draymond struggling. So that just shows, like
the resiliency,
next man up mentality, the way that Steve Kerr was willing to say, hey, Draymond, you don't have it right now. We're going to go to the next man up, and willing to do it. And the team stick together. And Draymond, shout out to him for not whining or crying about that, and coming back next game and say, hey, look, you feel me?
The closeout game, he showed up. Like you said, that was the Draymond that we were accustomed to seeing.
I think Draymond hit like 2 threes, right?
With the backpack on, bro.
backpack.
You know, it's just the fact that, and I know we said, you know, Clay wasn't looking like the Clay, but he's still, once again, if you looked at his numbers, he was still producing like Clay.
He
I know that
was.
the standard of Clay is of greatness because Clay is great. So of
Yeah.
course, when he don't, when it doesn't look like it used to look, you know,
Yeah.
then
Then it's yeah, it's
It
yeah.
just
just
was
as
less
bad.
efficient, but I feel like
But
that
like
was
you said, but
something.
I 100% agree with you. Like you said, now you have the off season to actually, you know,
Yeah.
have an off season, work on his game instead of rehabbing. You know, he'll get back. They're looking like the Clay because, like you said,
Yeah.
this is still Clay. His game is going. He had an old man game anyway. That's going.
Yeah.
You know,
Facts.
that was going to take
Facts.
him. You know, forever. You
Yeah.
know, even he'll be so regular.
Hmm.
Like the fact that when Clay gets old, he's still gonna be able to shoot with the best at the best.
Yeah. I
Even
agree with that.
so, it doesn't really matter. You know, before we go, where did the Celtics go? If you're the Celtics, where do they go from here?
Man, and that's the crazy thing. One, it was a great finals, man, and all of that we just highlighted about the Warriors and about stuff. I don't think that the Celtics should hang their head. They actually played a really good finals. I was disappointed in how they showed up in Game 6,
Yeah.
honestly. But what I will say, the Celtics don't got to do a lot of digging. Their leader has to do a lot of digging, man. This is really on JT. This
Mhm.
this Celtic loss, like, because the Celtics as a unit, they did what they were supposed to do. All the other guys did what they were supposed to do.
Mhm.
You did not do what you were supposed to do, JT. And I'm sorry, man. And I've been a fan of yours, so I got, like Hill says, no one is exempt from criticism, man.
Yeah.
And so I will say, like, first year coach, he made the adjustments, man. Like, y'all closed the gap a lot of times, but it was when you needed a bucket, when we needed you, you did not show up all of those times. So it was like, man, I don't know if it was Wiggins' defense. I don't know if it was their team
Oh, it was.
defensive game
Different.
plan, but they took your heart, man. They took your heart. So you got to just go back to the drawing board. All that JT that we saw in the Milwaukee series that hit the Statue of Liberty spin, like, who was ice cold in the clutch, like, you got to find that guy, man, and you got to be able to be that guy all year, man. And I feel like you can do it. I feel like you just got to go back to the drawing board. And I feel like if the C's come back and they put it all together and Tatum can shake that, and I feel like they can be contenders next year again. So,
So,
but I feel like the Warriors are primed to be contenders too.
oh, absolutely. I actually see the Celtics in a very similar position as the Suns, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I do.
This was their year to get it done. Your first time there, that was your time to really get it done, because next year it's going to be harder, because now you're coming in with those expectations. You made it through that playoff run, like I said, with a pivotal piece to most of those teams players, to that team's rotation gone. And you got there. You had what it takes to win this championship. Like I said before, you were the more talented team, but now coming back, well, with the Suns, we weren't the more talented team in the finals. I just want to say that. But like I'm saying, but now, like, coming back, the East is no joke now, because you're good. Like, it's not a guarantee that you're gonna play the Milwaukee Bucks without Chris Middleton.
It's not.
Miami is always going to be tough. Who knows what the hell, Philly might do. We've been waiting for them to get it together. Who knows what's going to happen there? There's like the East ain't no joke.
Yeah, the East is tough.
But
so, they can be a contender, but it's going to be a lot harder, because now, just like this year, they, like I said, their expectations was like, come on, let's get through, like, win each round. Now it's going to be in the back of their head. We got to get back. And that adds more fuel, and that adds more pressure on you, and it puts you under that fire, and you can't slip up, and teams are going to be ready for you.
I think it's different for them though, because they've been perennial Eastern Conference Finals recipients. Like they've been there, like, consistently. So it's like them getting over the hump is just giving them more fuel to their fire. But I think that the fact that they got over the hump, I think they'll be a more attractive to, let's say, a veteran that want to come for the veteran minimum, or somebody on the mid-level exception, somebody that they can attract another piece, because they like where is this comment right here? It said they need some depth. Bro, you coming off the bench with Grant Williams. I love Grant Williams to death. He's a he's a scrappy player.
Yeah, he is a
that's my
scrappy
cousin.
player,
but you coming off the bench with Grant Williams, bro.
Yeah.
Peyton Pritchard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
feel what I'm saying? Like,
he's Peyton Pritchard ain't going nowhere, because he's a Boston fan.
No, Peyton Pritchard nice, but it's like, come on now.
you
can do better.
We can do better than that. But we can get some depth, and like you say, we don't have to put the strain on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on the regular season. Let's weigh him out. But like you said,
I mean,
we
Tatum,
was watching.
You didn't even have a strain on you, Tatum. Them games was historically bad.
We was watching. I was watching. Gilbert Arenas. He got the pod, but he was having watch parties and shows with former NBA players. He had T-Mac over there, Matt Barnes over there, and I think T-Mac said, just watch the film.
Yeah.
Just watch this film and you'll get better. You got all the tools, JT. We know you got superstar
100%.
potential. You know all this. This was a fork in the road. So it's now all you do. Look how the Wiggins was defending you. Look how they was defending you. Look what they was taking away, and learn from it. And it's going to make him a better player. This is everybody gets knocked down. How you get up though? It's really.
I can't remember who it was, but it reminded me of how somebody guarded Bron, and they just let him. It might have been Pop.
When
I can't remember, but I just remember one finals. They just let him take jump shots, and
remember, that was actually one of my keys to the Warriors winning, is playing that defense and not letting them get into the paint and make them a jump shooting team. And they literally fell into it, because once again,
but you gotta force your way into the paint, because Jaylen Brown still was not being denied the paint. It was like, Jason Tatum would do one move and then pick up his dribble and turn it over. It's like, well, bro, like, come on, like, get the foul. At least go to the line or something. Get them in foul trouble. Be aggressive, but you can't just do one dribble, pick up your dribble. You just can't do that in these situations. So,
those situations is what make people play out like outside of what you expect from them, though.
No, I get it, but you're a superstar.
Also, what I think was going to help them if they don't do nothing crazy this offseason, another year of Marcus Smart actually being the point guard. Like, he ain't been the actual point guard per se since his rookie year.
Yeah,
like, he been playing backup, two guard, and but this year he was the actual point guard, the initiator of the offense. He settled them down, averaged the most assists if he's averaged in his career, like about 6. I know they ain't 10, but that's
on the average, that's good though.
That's good. I'm not
especially when you have
Jason Tatum
being the
playmaker
that he is.
That's pretty good, man.
You're not expecting him to be Chris Paul, but like I said, just run the offense. Exactly, just run the offense. Like I said, that ain't nothing that needs it when he's never done it. That's what I'm saying. When he's never averaged 6. So I'm saying, so just give him another year. Give you Udoka another year to implement an offensive system. Once again, it was still their first year. They got time.
He's one of those players that I will say who's willing to add to his game and get better. So I agree 100% with that, Hill. And I think that he truly wants to be the point guard anyway. So it's like, it just didn't. That wasn't how the offense was designed under Brad Stevens. So it was like, now he has a coach that believe in that, or at least get him more touches at that, because of course, with those players, Tatum is going to be the ball handler sometimes, and Jaylen Brown is going to be the ball handler sometimes. But I just think, like you said, more design opportunities with him being the guy initiating the offense, him leading with defense like how he did this year. I think, they can still be a problem. The East is not going to be a walkthrough, like AJ said, but like Hill said, I think they're accustomed to it being tough and them being established there. I feel like they can get to the Eastern Conference Final. They'll have to edge that out, and then they're gonna have to show up in the finals. But I think it can be done. And honestly, of course I want my team to go, but I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch.
So do we see that? Speaking of the Warriors, do we see them repeating right now?
I see them going back. It's going to be hard. Some teams are going to have to knock them off. And right now, with their confidence and the talent that they got, it's going to be hard because they've done a good job of continuing to bring in young talent infused with their veterans. So it's like we didn't see Wiseman at all this year. So that theory that I always say, like just bring a big man in and take it to them, like that in theory won't work next year because they should have a big man also. So they'll be able to do their depth lineup that they do. They'll be able to do a traditional lineup, whatever. They'll have all the tools. So it's like, and they still got opportunity to make moves this summer in free agency and in the draft. So it's like their track record says that they're just going to keep retooling.
That's
for me,
just
imagining James Wiseman getting Kevin Looney minutes.
Come on now, that's what I'm envisioning.
That to me, that in itself makes them just a much more dangerous team. Not even to mention what else, like what Kuminga could possibly grow into. Someone that they could bring in. Jordan Poole getting more experience and having this under his belt, and having the offseason of knowing what to work on and who what to do, and Gary Payton Jr. and him. So it's almost like this. They're it's like their new crop of players. Even though some of them they played a role, seeing how they can grow with this experience and coming back, and even if we never see old Clay, you are getting a Clay with a season under his belt and further removed from the injury. So even if he never gets back to him like his old self, it's a possibility that he could get to 80% of what he once was with another full off season where, like I said, he's training now, not rehabbing. He's back to training like Clay. So this team could definitely still be dangerous.
He's gonna be comfortable. He gonna have confidence in his injured parts. You feel me? So it's like he got the confidence in them at this point.
And this isn't a team that gets complacent. This ain't that team that's gonna come off a championship and you see that championship, hangover. Clay hungover right now, but he gonna be good. He gonna be good in October. October, Clay is gonna be good.
But just like Kenny said, their track record says that the front office is gonna do something. Said they gonna handle business, they gonna make a move, they gonna do what they got to do. So, like to say, the front office has a track record that we can believe in. There's no need to question.
Well, I do.
And the pieces already there. It's definitely gonna be tough in the West. I don't. I mean, if they're healthy once again, I mean, I don't really see anybody matching up with them. Currently constructed.
As presently constructed, just seeing how I'm also projecting some as far as trajectory for some of these players. I think that they're going to be tough. I think they'll be the number one. And like I said, I think just me envisioning James Wiseman getting Kevin Looney minutes, not even what he could do as what if he reaches, starts to scratch the surface on some of his potential and what they can be. So I think that they're going to be tough. I would like to see Memphis add some players, get a little bit more shooting around Ja. And, they're still a great team, but I would like to see what they do as well. That Christian Wood pickup for the Mavericks is extremely underrated. So I think that's going to be a really good move.
That's defense and offense.
Yeah,
So
that's everything. And he like Hill said to me, he fits in. I'm sorry to take your point, Hill, but he'll definitely fit in.
But currently constructed, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it. Like I said, more teams in the West, but they're gonna be in the playoffs and all that. But that's it. Currently constructed now.
So people just also need to be more afraid of this Steph, man, because this Steph coming back, it's like a Goku, man. It's like
bro, he is an assassin, yo.
But I feel like he ascended now, as it was like I truly went. So we talked. I kind of touched on it in the pre, and you said wait till we get to the finals.
Let's
To
get
talk about it. But it's like I feel like he went to the next level. Like I know people. You say you don't feel like it was a monkey on his back, but no one's immune to criticism, like Hill always says, and you hear that stuff, regardless if you're a human that is good at tuning out stuff.
You saw they hear it. They don't tune nothing out.
They've been saying it about him. Like the greats, the pundits, they've been saying like that's the one thing he don't got. So it's like now I got it. And the way that I did it is like, bro, this year I might just slay everybody to let them know it's real. And it's like that's even more. I'm even more afraid of him because like he truly understands the game mentally on a mental level, but he got all the physical attributes to sustain what he's doing because nothing that he's doing an older player can't do. You feel me?
Right.
It was
so Kane, the reason why I told you to save, him having the monkey on his back for the show is because for me, I personally don't think he had the monkey on his back. Because him getting a finals MVP meant nothing to me because I already in my eyes felt he was a final MVP because Andre Iguodala shouldn't have gotten that finals MVP.
Facts.
LeBron damn near could have been MVP and he lost.
Facts.
And they said that he stopped him. No.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't think he had the monkey on his back. Steph could have had 4 finals MVPs. But he's still going to have that monkey on the back because those type of players of that caliber always keep that chip. Steph has always kept the chip because Steph has come in the league as like he was overlooked at Davidson.
Yeah,
he got to the league. People said, "Oh, he just got here off of nepotism. He's Dale Curry's son." But if you look at it, Steph has constantly worked on his game. Steph has constantly gotten better. When Steph had those ankle injuries, people thought his career was going to be over. But he did the work. He did special exercises to strengthen everything else around it. He did whatever it took to get himself prepared and to be able to withstand the grind of an NBA season. And quiet as is kept, he worked on his body. He ain't the same build that he once was. Like he's stronger, man. He's stronger, and it shows even him being. I think he's 34 now. It shows that he could still play at this level and technically still kind of morph his game to not just being just the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, but now I'm gonna show y'all that. Yeah, don't forget I can finish around the basket with the best of them. And I can get
packages elite.
It's been elite.
It's been elite, bro.
So I got a question for you then.
Who, me?
Yeah.
What's up?
So what does Steph have to do to get in the top 10 for you then? You just said all that. You just said all that for Steph. And he's accomplished all that. He didn't need the finals MVP for you.
That's a perfect
he didn't do none of that.
So pull up your top 10.
So I'm having some technical difficulties. I talk shit about Hill and his technical difficulties. So I'm having some technical difficulties. Let me see if I can do it. But literally, the reason why.
But it's in the group. It's on Instagram. Y'all. Let me see.
Let me see if we can work it this way. Hold on. Bear with me. But I'll give my explanation right now. The reason why Steph wasn't in my top 10 is because I actually was going back and forth with Hakeem and Steph. And the only reason why I ended up going with Hakeem over Steph in my top 10 is because of how skilled of a big man Hakeem was. Like, I really wanted to put Steph at 9 and, move Hakeem down. But it's just like, I couldn't do that. And thankfully, both of y'all had Steph in y'all top 10, so it didn't make me feel as bad. So it was like, all right, we got Steph in our top 10. But that's really the only reason why Steph was not in my top 10, just because being that skilled as Hakeem was in that era, in the era of the big man, when, hand checking and stuff like that, I felt that, it was splitting hairs. And I just wanted it to be like, okay,
instead of off the dribble, that's
right. Instead of being, not necessarily saying a prisoner of a moment, because I truly believe Steph is a top 10 player, but just on this list, I wanted to, you know, kind of have it right now and give myself some distance. And I'm sure not even before the season started, you could ask me, and I'm like, yeah, Steph is in my top 10. But just that's how it is currently.
And I'm glad you said that. You said he is the top 10 player, but when it came to your list, you just couldn't put him in there. Like Cannon was trying to explain that all day. He's like, somebody is going to be with, you know, they're going to miss out. They're going to miss out.
It's 10 players, man.
Right? Yeah.
Like
It's 10 players.
and consistently.
Can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it. There we go.
So y'all see the top 10s?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
Consistently, we received criticism on the list for not having Shaq on there. So I wanted us to give us some explanation on why did Shaq not make our top 10 list.
So listen, so I'll go first because this is important to me because I was hurt when I sent my list.
Yeah, me too. I love Shaq.
I couldn't get facts. So Shaq's one of my favorite players, but it came down to, like you said, AJ, the people that I have in front of Shaq. Can you go to my list real quick, AJ? The centers that I have in front of Shaq are Kareem. We talked about his stats alone.
Because he said it
ridiculous. He's still the number one scorer of all time, and he only hit 1 3-pointer in his career. So he has to be the first center that I put up there. Then Bill Russell has 11 rings, Shaq, and 1 as a player coach. So it's like, and then when it came down for my last spot for a center, I was going to try to squeeze another center in there at 10. I went back to when I was a young boy and I watched Hakeem cook Shaq when I was rooting for Shaq to win the finals. And so I said, when it came to them head-to-head, when Hakeem was in his prime and you was reaching your prime, he cooked you, man. So it's like, I got Shaq number 11, but it's not, he would be in my top 25, but it's like, I just couldn't fit him in my top 10, man.
Now, for me, that was my deciding factor when it came to him and Hakeem. When it came to that was my deciding factor because I remember that final. I'm like, boy, you got cooked. It was nothing you could do. And on top of that, and my other logic was when Shaq left LA, Shaq was regular.
A journeyman, like he almost turned into a journeyman.
No, ain't no almost. He turned into a journeyman.
Not that first year with Flash. He balled out that first year.
Because he had something to prove when he first got to Miami. But if you look back on the rest of the time,
he was a journeyman after that.
Shit, Shaq was real regular when he got to Phoenix. Oh my God, that didn't work.
That broke my heart, to be honest. Like,
it
was just
Boston.
Now I don't want to penalize him for his longevity because, like I said, his longevity may ruin his legacy, in my opinion.
Because his longevity wasn't like
it wasn't
like if you look at LeBron, his longevity is coupled with highs. Yeah. Like Tim Duncan, his longevity is coupled with still like a high, even though he wasn't the Tim Duncan that he was.
He was a walking double at the end.
You see what I'm saying? There's still like a level of high level production that still shows that you are like I'm in that pantheon of greats. Like if you had never seen prime Shaq and you just watching Shaq, you just got him out there literally because he big.
Yeah.
We remember when Hakeem was on the Raptors, but that was one Raptors.
It wasn't like you you didn't see, and it didn't necessarily look like
it was bad.
No, I'm saying if you saw a photo, you wouldn't be like, oh, he just out there because he big. Shaq, Shaq, after he left the Heat,
his body too.
His body was different.
Yeah, he was just big out there.
His body was different. He's breathing different.
Now I got another question for y'all. For players that we did not see, the all-time greats that's revered that we did not see, what is y'all criteria when it comes to ranking them?
So it's basically comes down to personal opinion. So, but me, I consider myself a historian. So I
pause that. This is going to be directly at you, Jarvis. I see you in the comment. This is
okay.
you. Continue, Cannon.
Yeah, so for me, it starts with personal preference, but I do consider myself a historian of the game. So
Mhm.
I go back and I try to implement that. So if you look at mine, so it's like I did not discredit Bill Russell.
Mhm.
I did not discredit Larry Bird. Like I gave the old school people who I feel would still be legends in today's game. And
Mhm.
that's what it got to come down to. I got to feel like if your game would transfer, I have to feel like if Larry Bird was in his prime and we take him and put him on the court now, he's still going to be a top dog in the league. You
Mhm.
feel me? If we take Kareem any era, bro, and put him in there, the skyhook is working. You
Mhm.
feel me? And Hakeem, like AJ said it before, he's the most skilled big men that we've ever seen. And so but I saw the tail end of Larry Bird. And so when I was a little boy, I loved Larry Bird. I wanted to shoot like him because he was cold like that. You
Yeah, he was
feel?
Mhm.
cold.
But he wasn't just a shooter. That's what a lot of people don't know. Like
He'll
he
lock you up.
he played like, and he also really was played like Iverson, man. Like he was after loose balls. He put his body on the line,
Hmm.
which they don't really mention a lot. Which is why the end of his career ended like he did. So it's like you just got to try to give respect, but at the same time, if someone gives me a top 10 list and they only have newer people, I will still respect that because like I understand with these lists, you can't get everybody. And
Yeah.
even if you put more old school people in, you're gonna be slighting new school people. So either way,
I want you to
people are getting slighted.
I want you to answer that, AJ.
So for me, I understand what Cannon is saying also when it comes to preference, but also is for me, it's also about a level of respect for that era as well.
Mhm.
Because for me, like Larry Bird, I have Larry Bird at 6.
Mhm.
When I think about that era, I think about who he was competing against, and you see it right there, right at number 4 is Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So to me, like knowing the history of both of those, you know, those legacies and those dynasties and expectations that they have and how they came into the league and the rivalry and stuff like that. And also going back and I'll never say that I've watched every single game that Larry Bird played, but I've gone back and watched documentaries. I've gone back and watched those full games that they have on YouTube. I've like
Yeah.
because this is like I'm a fanatic of sports. So I want to see like why you were so good and why they claim to put you up there. And even not necessarily saying, oh, if we dropped you into the league today, would you still be as great? But would people respect you if you came into the league like today? And how would you adjust? And to me, when you are one of these great players, regardless of what area you're in, you're going to do the work and put in things, and you're going to adjust because, like, say you put like people always talk about LeBron could never play in the 90s because he's soft. No, I don't agree with that because if LeBron was playing in that time, he's bigger and stronger and faster than anybody else, and he would have came up with those rules, and that's how he's going to play regardless.
Yeah.
If you put you know Bill Russell in today's age, you know, even with the big man being as not obsolete, but how
He'll
the
be Dwight
game is,
Howard.
he would beat Dwight Howard. And remember Dwight Howard in his prime, like
Yeah.
he wasn't no joke. I know people make jokes about Dwight Howard, but
Yeah.
Orlando Magic Dwight Howard, like I'll put it like this: Dwight Howard's a Hall of Famer, regardless of what anybody got to say. Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So you put Bill Russell in his time. Bill Russell is like 11 rings may not happen because of the amount of teams that he would have had to play against and the amount of stars and the amount of talent that is spread across the league. He may not have 11 rings, but the way that he's going to work, he's still going to be Bill Russell.
And he a noob, so you know he gonna work.
Never mind. I ain't going to give away the secrets.
But my thing and I agree with both of what you
And
both
can I just make one more point with
Go ahead.
Kareem? Like to me, like I don't like I know people always like for the longest has always been Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has never gotten the credit that he deserves for being in that conversation of the greatest player of all time.
And you know why? Because he didn't receive the media push of the being the greatest, being
because
the
he was
greatest.
Muslim.
So the fact that that's what I'm saying. A lot of us have been trained,
Yeah,
growing up, have been trained of Bill Russell is the great. Bill Russell is the great, and I'm not saying Bill Russell is not great. I respect everything about Bill Russell's game. I respect everything that he did. Everything that he did. You know what I'm saying? So don't take nothing I'm about to say as disrespect, because I'm going to say this in the nicest, most coherent way so that I don't disrespect him. But the
Right.
fact that we've been told this, think about it, we've been told this about Bill Russell. So when we go back and watch the game, it's already conditioned of, oh, Bill Russell's this, Bill Russell did that. He, saying that. But when you, like I said, when we watched him, when we went back and watched old clips, it was like, okay, Bill Russell did this, Bill Russell did that. His team won. We're not talking about this team. Yeah, he won 11 championships. We don't talk about his teammates that won 11 championships either, right?
yeah.
Right. But can I
Hold
interject here?
Because I'm about to use your point. Always, we don't hold rings as that account when rings are convenient now, right? Now that the fact he has 11, now we holding him to this high esteem when it's time to rank him. And I'm not, like, once again, I'm not saying that to slight this man, because once again, Bill Russell is a great. He is a great, and like I said, I will take the L and take the criticism for not having him in my top 10. You can take my basketball card if you want to, all that. I understand that, but like I said, like Big Cannon been telling you, everybody can't be in the top 10.
They
And he
can't,
definitely, he had to go. When you look at and for me, he had to go.
That's not the nicest. You said that you was gonna say it as nice as possible, and that was not it, bro.
That he had to go has some sauce on it, boy.
I'm just saying, yeah, because when you look at Wilt, because when we go to bed, when people, this is my point. When people that we didn't see, we're going to have to use their stats.
Right.
We're going to have to see their stats, and it was a reason why I said that he would be Dwight Howard, because he was the tallest dude on the court. He was a super rebounder. He was a defensive wizard. His offensive game was I'm just taller than y'all out here,
Right. But
his career average was 14.
I get that.
But to AJ's point, he would have adapted if there were more tall people.
What do you mean?
Wilt wouldn't want to. I feel like he still would have adapted.
Wilt in his era.
Let me just jump in right quick.
Crazy with him too.
And right. Wilt numbers is crazy.
But the reason why I have Bill Russell at 5 also, like, I totally understand and partially agree.
Coach, man.
Partially agree with your point. And we're also his Wilt was in his generation, but also they did play head to head,
and he lost because who had the better team,
right? But also, a lot of people get docked for not having the better team but losing. But what I'm saying is, for me, Bill Russell, that's why Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain are on my list, because of who they were in their generation. And yes, Bill Russell may not have been the offensive presence that Wilt Chamberlain was, but those other things, just from what I've seen, like the other aspects were there. And he was still an anomaly at that time. He was still one of those people, that just was on the court and just like, yo, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
And like you said, for him to be a player coach, for him to be, to grow up and to play in the era that he played with the segregation and the racism and all that, like I said, it's definitely a tough mental aspect that he had to go through.
Didn't somebody shit in his bed in Boston?
I'm pretty sure. He couldn't travel with the team. He couldn't stay at the same hotels with the team. It was, I get that. And once again, I would take the L and the criticism for not having him on there. But, like I said, Cannon said, I keep repeating it. Everybody can't make it. And he was the one that I had to take out. And I'm cool. I'm cool with my list.
But before we got on to the sentence here, you was about to say that you agree with both of us, and then you didn't get to finish that point. I don't know if you can remember.
No, because y'all said y'all basically said what I would say about people that we didn't see.
All right.
People that we didn't see, and being her historian, going back. That's the reason why I'm a Laker fan to this day. Showtime Lakers sold me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So me going back and seeing the rivalry, going back and seeing, quite honest, nobody's arguing about Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas would have been in my top 10.
Yeah,
and he's actually the reason why I put Steph. He put Steph in my top 10 because when I was thinking to myself, I'm like, my all-time favorite point guards. are Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. And I
Yeah.
said, what the hell? Why isn't Steph better than Isaiah Thomas? I said that to myself. I
Yeah,
said,
that's
you know
why.
what?
That's why I have the conversation about Steph being in my top 10, because to me, Stat has put like to me, Steph is now the second greatest point guard ever.
You feel what I'm saying? We said
Yeah, so he need to be in yours.
So, but the thing about
that was a joke.
no,
bro.
I know.
You already explained it.
but you know, I mean, like, I think this comment right here, where me find it. Honestly, there really isn't no wrong answers when it comes to these top 10 lists, because I seen his list. He put his list. I had no quarrels with his list. I seen another person put their list in the group, and more people should put their list in the group. That's the point. Like, we don't. This is the people. We are the people. Put your list and stand on your list and say what you got to say and defend your list.
Because here's my thing when it comes to these lists. I'm not gonna put out a list that I can't give you the reasoning behind why I got the list.
Fact.
So like people have like tons of people have said like, oh, like you got LeBron at number one. Like, how can you have LeBron at number one? If you really want to like I can give you all of my reasons why I have him at number one. I can give you a reason why I have every single person in the place that I have them.
Mm-hmm.
What I would like to hear is how, like, you
give
know,
me your reason why you have Tim Duncan ahead of Kobe Bryant, bro.
The reason why I have
that's the one quarrel that I have with your list.
Okay, the reason why I have Tim Duncan over Kobe is, for me, all around game. So for me, I understand that Tim Duncan, you know, he wasn't as flashy. He didn't have the things that Kobe did in the grand scheme of things. But Tim Duncan, you know, their careers basically mirrored each other. They both have 5 NBA championships. You know, they have the accolades. They're both MVPs. They both have, you know, all NBA first teams and all of that stuff. You know, Kobe has more career points, but overall, just in totality of the things, to me, Tim Duncan brought more. Because what I've said is, the reason why I have Kobe so low is, for me, Kobe was a volume scorer. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I have to dock him for that, because to me, a lot of the greats, like Kobe, he's under 50% of, you know, just from the field. And he has, you know, the 3-pointers, and he has the great offensive game. And, you know, people gave him like, oh, he is the closest thing that we have to Jordan. But that doesn't mean that I have to put him right under Jordan when it comes to my all-time rankings. Yes, he had the closest game to him, but just overall, I don't think that it is enough for me to elevate Kobe into that top 5. You get what I'm saying?
You finally got there. You started on, you was on some bullshit, boy.
And so, but what I will say, I do get what you're saying, and one, I'm gonna respect your list anyway. So I respect your answer.
I respect it too. I'm just saying you started off on some bullshit. I won't try to hear that shit.
No, but here's my thing. So
that's
like,
just me. That you know how I feel about Kobe. So
exactly, but that's all, and that's also one of the reasons why, like, I've always told y'all, I will never argue nobody, like, who's the GOAT to nobody, because I'll never change your mind. Especially like Kobe had the Lakers backing. Kobe had that fan base, that large fan base, and what he means to that fan base. Like, you know, like even I believe Magic came out and said, oh, Kobe's the greatest Laker of all time. I don't agree with that, because I think he's, you know, probably the third best, because I have Kareem as almost like arguably the number 1 player of all time. And then I have Magic behind him. So, you know, just because those are, you know, what the overarching perception and what people are telling you to believe, I don't necessarily have to believe that just because. And, you know, when like Hill, when you say, you know, oh, we give people a lot of credit because, you know, they have the rings. Like, I'm not docking Kobe for who he has on his team, because like that's just like you're dealt with, like you have the hand that you're dealt. But it's some of the things that it's some of the things that I've seen. Like, also, like I said, you know, just he was a great, you know, like he was an assassin, but some of the efficiency is why I dock him some points. That's all.
And so let me say this. So I agree with what you said about how, as far as accolades, longevity, their careers, They really do mirror each other. But what I will say is, when you look at the championship teams that Tim Duncan had, they were built for championships. I specifically told Hill the championship with Paul Gasol and Andrew Bynum, Kobe put them. That's on his back. You feel me? Timmy don't have one of those, and so it's like I can never put him over Kobe for that reason, because he took basically, like, I'm just say, like, hell no. I used to go blood on Paul Gasol. I was like, bro, like, this is not a big three. Like, if people were trying to call that a big three, I'm like, Andrew Bynum, Paul Gasol, and Kobe. That is not a big three. And Paul Gasol, he was a turkey in that series, bro. He barely showed up, and Kobe put them on his back, and that was against Boston. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like I feel you, but in the fell clutch of circumstance, if I got to take one or the other, and that's what it's going to come down to, I got to take Kobe. But at the same time, I respect your opinion, and I'm not mad that you got him there. But I do respect your reasoning. But
so you're not gonna slap me?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh man. We got so somebody settled some cases. You know, somebody settled some.
A lot of you motherfuckers that's out here caping for this dude like he's your homie. Y'all nasty, and I look at you different.
Let's give it some backstory.
But this is my thing about settling cases. Like, if you were going to settle cases, you should have just settled them from the beginning. We may not have ever even been here. So you just wasted a lot of time. It's almost like what players do when we keep saying, like, you got to come out with a better holdout strategy. Like, you can't say, like, oh, I'm going to go to trial if you don't have leverage, bro.
We talk about Deshaun Watson battle.
Yeah, it's the same thing as, like, not holding out or holding out if you don't have leverage. Like, you gotta have leverage for certain things. So if you knew the type of acts that you were engaged in with, whether the team enabled you or not, you should have been like, let's go ahead and get this taken care of. Beginning of the last year, and people may have even forgot about it. Now you done dragged it out. You done left opportunity for more people to come out. Now you got 4 people still excluded. If you'd have got them right away, they might have said, you know what, let's wipe our hands and be done with it.
I think he had bad representation when it came to his lawyer.
He switched?
No, it's the same lawyer.
Same one.
Same lawyer. And I believe that if he had the right advice, he would have been pressuring him to settle from the jump. Because
but also, like, I ain't got much to say on this, but also a lot of people, just because you have a lawyer and your counsel can be giving you the right information, don't mean he got to listen. He could be like, no, I want to settle this.
Lawyers work for you, so whatever he says,
it could have been like there's a possibility he could have done all of these things, but he also don't feel like he did nothing wrong.
Fact. That's what a deviant. That's what a deviant don't believe that they're wrong at all. So,
but the simple fact that now he still has some of the public on his side, and I think he minimized that. I think he didn't take that into account, because once again, I want to tell people settling cases doesn't mean you admitting guilt. I mean, you're settling cases. It's just that. But when you're fighting a case in public opinion can come up with their verdict, and their verdict is what their verdict is. As you can tell by Cannon and AJ's tone, he's guilty. Deshaun Watson is guilty towards their tone. I'm not sitting here defending his guilt, defending his innocence. All I am saying is that his advice was wrong, because we never would have got all the details would have came out if the cases were not public. So you could have still been using the benefit of the doubt. You could have still been using the conspiracy theory that the Texans was the one that set you up. You could have still been the theory that they lying. You could have still been using all these to your advantage, to your public perception, because you know what? When it comes to football, and teams and fans of football, winning cures all. They don't care. They still don't care. But the funny thing about it, when it came to this whole situation, when it came back in the day, when I said, "Oh, he should have been on the commissioner's exempt list from the jump," oh, people came at me. "Oh, you just saying that because you a Cowboy fan and they did what they did to Zeke." So
that's also called consistency.
Yeah,
you know
Be consistency in your actions.
Who? I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. Holding people accountable, right? Holding and what's wrong? What's wrong with what's wrong with the exemption list? Go ahead, Cannon.
And if someone on that team would have been put in that same situation, they would be crying the same thing because it's supposed to be fair, bro. It's a league of competition where it's supposed to be fair for the league. So of course, I'm gonna say that if that has been the standard set by the commissioner himself, it don't matter if it was Zeke, because I said the same thing, and Zeke not on my team. Yes, you should be suspended. If other people, there's been other players that I haven't wanted suspended, whether they was on my fantasy team or not, because of something like that, and they ended up being suspended. So it's like, I listen, man. I always said suspend them because get it over with. That's my thing. Get it over with. You should have settled. You should have took your suspension last year. You could be playing a full season this year.
You feel what I'm saying? You would have expedited your suspension when it came to, because people don't what people fail to realize. The NFL has money. Their investigation team can find out details that a lot of people don't know. We didn't have to find out these details on some of these alleged cases. That's his fault when I keep coming back to the bad advice to the lawyer, because last year,
but like AJ said, he just could not be listening to his lawyer, bro.
That's okay. That's and okay, cool. That's bad advice to your damn self. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's just bad on his part. Like I said, I'm not defending him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying on ways that he could have avoided some of this backlash or could have moved forward, because once again, he was ready to settle last year when it came towards the trade to Miami. But then, because Miami's stipulation was settle these cases and make them sign NDAs. He was ready to move forward. When you didn't move the trade for this comment right here, boom, he wanted to clear his name. I understand you want to clear your name, and I'm not mad at you not wanting to clear your name. I'm not mad at you wanting to clear your name, because the allegations that you are accused of are egregious. So of course you don't want that stain on your name. And if you feel that you are innocent, of course you have to fight. But the thing about it doesn't. It don't matter.
I don't even feel sympathy about him clearing his name when you have this many instances, bro. So it's like, bro, you can't clear your name. You drug it through the mud when you said after the 6th time and you knew the woman was disrespected, that I'm gonna set up another one. I'm gonna set up another one with a different masseuse, and I'm gonna try another happy ending. Or we on time number 13. I'm gonna try it again. So, and who knows how many ain't came forward. So it's like, this was a habitual thing. This was a habit. So it's like, bro, whether you're guilty or not, you're in too many situations where it was possible, bro. If you ain't see this, you were being set up after 1 or 2, you're a complete idiot. and if you did know that you were set up and you kept doing it, then you deserve whatever you got. So it's like, bro, I don't even.
You did it 66 more times.
Yeah, I don't even care about you clearing your name at this point. Like,
and
you should have just been strategic once it came out publicly to just get it over with as soon as possible.
But the thing about it is, I understand, and like I said, that's your opinion, and you are entitled to your opinion, and I'm not saying you're wrong. But the thing about it is, he gave us the option for this opinion, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
for more and more cases to keep coming out, for more and more allegations to keep leaking, for more and more information to keep coming out, he gave us this information. He let this leak out. We could have went on without knowing this. So that's why I continuously said, I'm like, okay, that's why we made the post and said, You should have just went ahead and settled your cases, get it over with.
Look at this comment, man.
Which one?
Oh yeah, we're Super Saiyan level 3 with the money.
Yeah.
You know who gonna have comment of the night. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. But all I'm saying is, and I got all types of flack. Oh, that's ignorant. You not understanding the case. You wrong. They lying. It's a money grab. What are you saying? He ain't guilty. He innocent. He all that. You doing all this caping. Y'all doing all this caping, saying everything other than making more assumptions all of what I'm saying. Because all I was saying was get it over with.
Yeah.
That's all I was saying was get it over with. Because
that would have been the smartest thing.
The quicker you get to football and the quicker you have success on this football field, is the quicker they're going to forget.
Yeah.
Because once again, you still have people on your side, and there's still people that still believe in you. There's still people believing in you that still believe on everything that you got going on.
The fact of the matter, some people will never care about that. Some people just,
and that's another percentage of the people.
So, but AJ looking like he ready for Fact or Cap, man.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get on. But it's all this to it is, hey, when she come at me, come correct. What, that's all I'm gonna say. When you come at me, come correct. Cause what's the saying, AJ? What's the saying? Listen to us now.
Listen to me now, or believe me later on.
All right, let's go on to the favorite game, baby.
Oh, wait. So you mean to tell me like we're about to play America's favorite game, or are we just about to play somebody's favorite game? I don't know. Now we play.
All right, man. I'll start. Fact or Cap. KD versus Chuck, man. Who's right? Or KD's right? Fact or Cap.
So I'm gonna hedge here. I'm gonna say I understand why these two.
Oh, it's Fact or Cap.
No, wait. I'm going. But Cap, I gotta go with Charles. And the reason why I'm going with Charles is because I can understand what he means when he's talking about the bus driver. And in KD's own words, you can actually use them against him. When we talk about the Warriors dynasty, especially in that time, why it was able to be what it was, the two main pieces were not the Splash Brothers. It was Steph 1 and actually Draymond number 2. And then it was the system that was employed. After KD lost to the Warriors, he didn't say, I just wanted to go and, prove that I can, win a championship. He said, I wanted to fit in a system and play in a system. Steph was the bus driver of that system, even when KD came there.
No, that's facts.
Draymond was an important piece because they still were able to play that small ball. I see you shaking your head, Hill.
Yeah, but he was Hill.
But what I'm saying,
in his life.
But what I'm saying is that's exactly what KD told us. He wanted to fit in, he wanted to play in that system. And even when you look at, that OKC time, it's almost as like you can say he wanted to leave OKC because he wasn't the bus driver in OKC because Russell Wilson, God damn it, I knew I was going to do it. Russell Westbrook was causing him some headaches because at certain times, Russell Westbrook would have the ball in these clutch moments and KD would just be sitting there. So he wanted to go somewhere where the ball moved and the ball flowed. But the ball moved and the ball flowed because of the system that was in place. And the system that was in place in Golden State was because of Steph. And the lineups that they were able to play was because of Draymond. And so I get what you're saying. He was the best player when he went there and those things. No. I'm talking about just in general. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about in general. Like people say, oh, but KD was the best player on the court. Yeah, but it allowed him the freedom to, have someone as close to being the best player on the court like Steph, who was also unselfish in the ways that Russell Westbrook may have been unwilling to move the ball freely and stuff like that, because it was like, KD, you ISO, Russ, you ISO, and you take back and forth. But the Warriors, there was a system in play that didn't allow that. And then it wasn't like this, he went to a Warriors team that had a good system, but they weren't champions. This was like he went to a championship team already. And so, like I said before, this was established. So I get what Chuck was saying, and that's why I kind of agree more when I say, like, I get what he's saying when he comes to, you got to drive the bus. Like, the bus was already moving. They just let you in, and you had the map quest.
Facts.
Go ahead, Cannon.
Oh, mine is short, man. My thing is like this is I'm going cap. KD, you constantly got something to say about the media. You year and year, what year is this for him? 12, 13? You still haven't failed to realize that these media people cover you and the sport that you play, bro. It is their job to create clickbait, to create headlines, to create topics to talk about. And if you want to be one of the greats like you always find about being, then your name's going to be brought up. So, of course, the team that you left for no reason wins a chip without you, you're going to be brought up, especially when you and your running mate got down there and act like y'all were slated and guaranteed to win the chip.
And y'all became championship. Y'all were championship favorites.
Yeah, you brought this criticism on yourself, so accept it. Stop thinking that everybody that says something negative about you is sour and upset. Maybe it's an actual fact, bro. And sometimes you got to look in the mirror and say, dang, I didn't get it done. Like, I had an opportunity to build a great dynasty there. I got off the bus early because I wasn't the driver. That's the proof that he wasn't the bus driver, because he got off early. He was like, let me off at this stop. You feel me?
Because somebody called him a bitch from the back of the bus.
Facts, bro. So he was like, let me off. He got off, bro, and they was like, bro, we're gonna keep this thing rolling without you. It was rolling before you, it's gonna be rolling after you, bro. And so, and this is my thing. He played, so everybody thought that slight was towards Bron. Bro, he played with Steph and Clay and said, this is the first time I can look down the line. Like, and he agreed with that mess. So it's like, bro, get out of here, bro. Like, get out of here, bro.
Can I make one more statement real quick? It's totally, but it just brought me to somewhere.
Go ahead.
With KD, that's one of the reasons why I have Bron number one, is because of expectations and how you handled and managed those expectations. Because Bron was literally supposed to be the next greatest thing ever since he was 15, 16 years old. And he came in, has a chance to being the all-time leading scorer and in the conversation as one of the greatest players ever. When KD came into the league, it was like, oh, he's about to be like, immediately he could be the greatest scorer ever, one of the greatest basketball players ever. But to do the things that he's done and to way that he's managed those expectations, he's fell completely short from managing the expectations, because he is almost like he's unhappy being like having.
He's say AJ salty and wait till we hear this. He's unhappy having these expectations. It's like he wants to, like, he can't handle it. He can't handle the pressure of being considered great. He gonna say AJ don't know nothing about being great. You can't play ball like me, AJ. All this other stuff that don't matter, bro. It's my job to cover you, bro. Like, don't play sports.
I'm great in my own way.
You are, and
that's what. It's some things. If KD want to holler at me, I can show him. Because
we're not saying that we're better ballers. Chuck is not saying that I'm a better baller than you or anything. My bad, hell.
So I got a question, right? Y'all remember this line from Wayne? You can catch me courtside at Dwayne Wade's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bron went there, right? Who team was it when Bron went to D Wade's house?
It was D Wade's.
Yeah,
it was D Wade's team.
Yeah, it was both of theirs.
So when Bron got to Miami, it was D Wade's team.
He was still the closer, bro. Like,
we're not doing that, bro. No, we're not.
It was their team, bro.
Because because here's the thing.
We're not doing this.
That's why Bron left.
Bron was the best player.
Bron left.
Bron was the best player, was he not?
Yeah, he was the
But
best player.
it was still Wade County. That was still considered his
man.
team.
I
And
felt like
Bron even's like people always talk about he went there because he wanted to learn how to win. But then when he went back, Bron got other championships as the bus driver.
You didn't let me finish.
I know. But okay, but before you jump in, that first championship, I'll consider Bron as being he didn't drive the bus. But everything after that, Bron was the bus driver. Everything.
And that's what and my whole point. I don't know why the hell I let y'all jump me. Y'all are some book, but this is my
fight
take.
back, nigga. Fight back.
D Wade purposely took a step back for Bron.
No, D Wade did do that. And so when to your point, I was speaking from a fan standpoint, but D Wade did take a step back.
And Steph did that for KD.
I be trying to say that. That's why I said Steph drove the bus. Yeah, he still took a step back because you're an elite scorer. You're a high volume scorer. Like I can do other things to impact the game, bro. But you don't really impact the game in any other way other than scoring, Kevin. So I gotta let you do that. That's why I feel like
I won't say
because his defense was on a whole other level.
I can't. Before that Achilles
injury,
injury,
not on a whole nother level. He was playing with a good defensive team, like we just saw.
No,
KD, defensive coach
because of KD's size, he was still he wasn't all defensive caliber.
Yeah,
but he was still a good defender because of the size that he had. So I won't say that's the only way he could impact the game. But what I will say is
really impacted.
But what I will say is, even going to the Warriors, Steph allows you to even be greater offensively because of what it takes to guard Steph.
Yeah.
So dropping yourself into that and having Steph and Clay next to you is only going to make you even better offensively, and it plays to your strong suit. Yeah. But like I said, it's still. Oh my gosh!
I lost. Miss King, she dropped the mic on me.
Well, when you hire help to work in your house, don't you move out the way. It's still your damn house. Can we end this show right here?
Oh. I mean, we got to go. We got another fact to count, but we got one more. Okay. Just let Katie. I tried.
Look,
Katie, I tried.
Let me reiterate this. Miss King said, when you hire help to work in your house, don't you move out the way. It's still your damn house. Yeah. God damn, that's a motherfucking bar.
Yeah. Katie, I tried, Katie. I tried.
And that's been my point the whole time, man.
Somebody send that to Chuck, because that's gonna end the argument right there.
But Chuck don't even need to be going back and forth with him. Like Chuck gets paid to do this, and you get mad every time But if I say something great, you ain't nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. Just like Juan when the Warriors are losing. You feel me? It's like, bro. When it's going good, you ain't got no issue with Chuck. It's just whenever he says something negative about you, but the fact if he's gonna be objective at his job, he can't always say good things about you, KD. Dang.
That's why I mean, but before we move on, like I said, we knew the pressure was on KD and Kyrie to win another championship in Brooklyn. They had championships.
That's two motherfuckers. I don't really know how they gonna handle the pressure.
They had championship aspirations and expectations, and they have not lived up to them since they've been in Brooklyn. And it's only increased since both of their counterparts have won since they left. So it's only 5. But now my fact to cap has Kyrie played his last game in Brooklyn?
Brooklyn. That's a loaded question.
That's cap.
I said for Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, I think that's cap.
Okay.
Because he got approximately $40 million on the table, or roughly 39, something like that. It's right. It's about $40 million.
Yeah.
I'm not walking away from that, man. I don't see Kyrie walking away from that. And if they trade him, fine. That, you know what I mean? Then that's out of my hands. But I feel like he's gonna show up and be ready to work next year because he's slated to be paid $40 million, bro.
I don't necessarily know if I can trust that money is going to be the motivation for Kyrie to show up.
Mm-hmm. He lost 17. He lost 17 this year.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna.
That's why I feel like he's gonna show up.
I don't know that because it ain't like Kyrie broke. He's made plenty, so I don't know if that's his motivation to show up. The only way that I'll say is that Kyrie has played. That's why I said this is a loaded question. The only way that Kyrie has played his last game in Brooklyn is if Kevin Durant says he doesn't want him in Brooklyn anymore.
And that's why it's cap for me, because KD
That
wants
would
to
be
play
dumb
with
as hell for KD to say that.
KD wants to play with Kyrie. This is
Yeah.
the thing.
But here's my
The outside people is sick of Kyrie. The organizations are sick of Kyrie. The NBA may be sick of Kyrie. The players are not sick of Kyrie.
No, I don't think Kevin Durant. I think them other motherfuckers might be sick of Kyrie.
They
Kevin
just got
Durant.
there.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying they
How they know? They don't know.
So can I make a like an observation of why they like, to me it's almost like with KD and Kyrie, it's almost like an enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
And I feel like they both, they want us, like Kyrie has come out and said it, but I think it's almost like they want to both be able to prove that.
But Kyrie made amends for his stuff.
Kyrie wants to prove that Kyrie, I still don't trust anything Kyrie says publicly. I think he still wants to prove that he can do it without Bron. And I think KD wants to prove that he can be in that conversation with Bron.
I mean, he can. Of course, he still probably wants to prove, but he's already admitted that was a mistake on his part. So it's like, regardless of what, KD ain't came out and said that it was a mistake leaving Golden State, bro. And
I never said it was a mistake,
and that's why I said, like, he's at least admitted to the fact that he went. Kyrie said that I went about it the wrong way. He said out of his own mouth, I should have talked to Bron. You feel me? And so it's like, and he also says, like, I shouldn't have said. He said it even about the little mixtape thing or the podcast thing. He said I shouldn't have said that neither too. But it's like, that's a space he was in at the time. So it's like he's kind of a tone. So it's like, if Kyrie, like y'all said, we don't know what his motivation is. Like, it may not be none of that. You feel me?
But
it possibly could. So, but who knows when it comes to him?
When it comes, because I think he's exhausting all his leverage that he can just to get his contract from the Nets. Like you said, you have $40 million on the table that he can opt into. You know what I'm saying? But he's trying to get a long-term deal. And if the fact that he can't get a long-term deal, he has to leak out information of, I may leave and I got options. These teams want this, they want me on their team. So if y'all don't want to pay me, I can go elsewhere. And on top of that, KD wants to play with Kyrie. I mean, I'm not minimizing nothing that you just said, AJ, because it could be true. They could just become friends because frenemies and all that.
No. But remember, I said before, prior to that statement, I said whatever KD says goes.
And I know, and I get that, but I do truly believe that they want to play together. Like I say, nothing that they had, because KD have said, "Hey, this is basketball. Like I want to play basketball with him." Like when it comes to when it's basketball, that's what he's thinking about. Like I say, the organization is mad at him. Everybody else, outside people, is mad at him. I truly don't believe that these people are mad at him. Steph Curry has been a teammate before. He's not mad at him. Ben Simmons is fishing right now. He ain't mad at nobody. Like people aren't mad at Kyrie. Shoot, when he did his interview on I Am Athlete, it actually was a good interview, and people was we're not mad at you. Only get mad at Kyrie when he says something stupid. So like I said,
which is often,
and he does say stuff stupid, but they putting this stuff in position. And on top of that,
I lost my point. What was I going to say?
I know you did. I'm sorry. And KD, I don't think it's a mistake for KD to leave. For him to leave Golden State, because he went to Golden State to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish. Now he's in Brooklyn ready to accomplish the next part of his legacy part that he has not yet fulfilled. So I understand why he did it. It's not a mistake.
I get it. But I'm just saying, like, he could have 4 chips by now. This could have been his 4th one.
And
more.
And Chuck still calling.
That's all I'm saying.
And then y'all still not saying he driving the bus, and he's still not feeling.
It wouldn't even matter once you power on that many. It don't even matter. Like that's the thing, like, bro.
Now it don't matter.
Like,
Scottie
bro,
Pippen got 6.
You think I would care if I didn't drive? You think Robert Horry cares that he didn't drive the bus? He was like, I closed the door on that bus. You feel me?
You didn't hear me. Scottie got 6 and wrote a damn book about him not getting his credit.
Scottie couldn't keep his own woman, so I ain't trying to hear shit. Manage your house first before you talk about anything else. But what I will say is, if if this Brooklyn Nets team breaks up or they don't win a championship, this is going to be one of the biggest failures in basketball history.
No question, no doubt about
Bro,
it.
last year was
that's
their
their fault.
opportunity. They blew it.
Because you've had all of this expectation, and a lot of it y'all put on yourself because the way y'all run y'all mouth, and y'all didn't get it done. Like this should be considered one of the biggest failures in basketball.
It already is. They have to change that. Like they have to change that. Like it's already a failure. Like
Yeah, there you go.
they have to change that. And it, like I said,
I agree with that.
It only heightens. The Warriors have won a championship without you, KD. LeBron has won another championship without you. Kyrie, he went to one without you. He won without you. Like you said, they have done something without you. Now it's time for y'all
to do something without them.
Do something without them. This is what y'all linked up for, right? Now it's on y'all. But
that's the enemy. That's where the enemy of my enemy comes in for me. Like, they wanted to. Okay, all right, cool.
I got it, and I understand. But I do understand the Brooklyn Nets. Hey, look, bro, we're not about to commit to you long term, bro. Like, ain't no way in the world. We don't know.
Not after this year.
Ain't no way in the fuck.
You don't want to commit to us long term.
We don't know where you at now.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You texting off burner phones. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You love, but them PTO, two love a burner phone, man.
You got PTO requests in.
You using WhatsApp when we ask you to come meet with the meet. Like, you don't know where you at. So I understand why they don't want commit to them. But this has been episode 130. No, what episode is it?
158.
158.
Yeah, I'm about to say we passed 130. 158, baby. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know y'all catch us all major comments.
I was waiting.
Y'all,
wait. Can everyone in this stream make sure you hit the thumbs up button? Do it right now. Hit the like button. The thumbs up. Do it right now. Everybody, hit it in the comments and let me know when it's done. Say done after you do it. Sorry, Hill. Go ahead.
Shouts out to the force. Definitely need everybody to hit the like button for the algorithm purposes so we can help grow. I appreciate all the fours that showed up. Y'all was definitely in the building and held us down. We had some comments of the night. Mark, your title got taken by Miss King tonight. Unfortunately, you was holding it down, but she came and took over. She snatched that crown tonight.
She snatched it like Carlton from Will at the last shot of the game at Bel Air Academy.
Y'all know y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms. 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _ You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. I'm Hill, it's Cannon, AJ, y'all the fours.
And ain't none of y'all motherfuckers typed in done in the comments yet. So
just hit like.
Chris did.
All right, we got that put. Okay, so Chris, you safe from the pull-up policy.
Oh my God, Chris is here, and fortunately, R.I.P. Jalen Ferguson, R.I.P. Tony Saragusa, R.I.P. to
Goose, man, that one hurt.
What's the boy name? Caleb. What's the boy name? From Purdue. From the Blazers.
Caleb Swanigan.
Yeah. R.I.P. I didn't want to butcher his name.
We never gave an R.I.P. to Cam Dantzler. Like it's been a lot. So.
It's been a lot of death for these these are young people that are dying way too soon. Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. I'm sorry about sorry to the Ravens Nation, sorry to everybody involved, their families involved. I'm sorry that we were late with it with the RIP, but we got a lot of
late than never.
Yeah, but like I said, we definitely sorry. RIP.
Man, look, y'all check on y'all health. Go get some checkups, man. Go to the doctor. Keep y'all health straight and stay dangerous this summer. We out.